effortless athleticism, and spectacular routines. These young people in Jamaica have been learning gymnastics.
I like that it has no limits and you can challenge yourself to do more than what you can do.
While Jamaica isn't known for its gymnastics, the country has recently seen more athletes performing on the world stage. And one individual in particular has had a significant influence on this trend. Japanese coach Nishida Shin. In 2008, Nishida opened a gymnastics studio in Jamaica, despite the country's limited heritage in the sport. And as part of his efforts to popularize gymnastics, he launched free classes for children from underprivileged backgrounds.
やっぱ何か子どもたちの教育、それこそジャマイカの未来と、ちょっとジャマイカの未来っていうとね、大きくなっちゃうんですけど、本当に体操を通じていい影響を与えてあげたい。
Daniel Williams joined Nishida's classes at the age of 8. And despite a disadvantaged background, he went on to represent Jamaica at the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. In 2019, Nishida entrusted coaching to local staff and returned to Japan to teach children there too.
Coach Walters, I challenge you.
And though he initially intended to travel back and forth, the global pandemic soon put paid to those plans. For the last 2 years, he's been forced to support his coaches remotely.
All right, Coach Walters, go, and you try. See, it's kind of hard, no? Pointed, I give them a challenge, and I let them sit down and watch.
With travel restrictions easing, at long last, he's able to return to Jamaica. This time on Side by Side, we follow the Japanese coach and his Jamaican colleagues working to change children's futures through gymnastics. Jamaica is an island nation in the heart of the Caribbean Sea. The capital, Kingston, is home to 1.2 million people. Nishida Shin returns for the first time in 2 years to see how his gymnastics initiative is going.
All right. Mr. Young! What's up? Hold on. Hi! Hold on, wait. Gym carpet looks so... The color.
Oh yes, sir. It's burning. It's the sun because of the sun and the constant spraying on it. It changed.
You know.
Coach Gordon, what's up? Oh, good. Yo, man.
I know you know. You gave us the video, little video.
Yes.
Saying, this stuff. Oh, thank you for the video last time.
At this studio, a team of 12 local coaches train some 200 regular students. Each class begins with the same routine, as the students recite Nishida's studio philosophy. These guidelines are inspired by Nishida's own hopes for these young people.
"しっかり計画を立てて練習する努力すれば結構いろんなことできるんだなっていうのをスポーツを通じて学んだと思ってるんですよ。 将来ね何かこう体操で学んだことがその彼らの人生に生きてくればいいなという気持ちを持って教えてはいますいつも。
That's it. Put your hand on the lead. Okay? That's okay. Everything you're gonna make mistake, okay? Don't worry about it. Fist bump. Alright.
The coaches work to instill the importance of effort and persistence, a vital lesson whatever the future may hold for these students.
I like when they give me confidence in myself. That's so I could do the skill and get it.
Nishida's longest association here is with 24-year-old Daniel Williams.
Everything good, sir? Yes. So you look like a catch back a color bird. What? Catch back a color.
White.
Yep, exactly. Because that was the first thing when he came in. When he came into the that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh, sir got back his color.
You know it's winter in Japan.
Williams was one of Nishida's first students when he opened his gym 15 years ago.
Keep the elbow straight, straight, straight.
And having retired from competition, these days he works as a coach.
That's too high, right there.
I mean, he's the one basically was just there every single time. I mean, he watches us grow, and he sees everything that we do, and he tries his best to try to, you know, instill discipline, you know, be respectful, you know, be good to others. Don't say this, don't act a certain way, and I'm grateful for that.
Nishida's own background in competitive gymnastics goes back to his student days. And in 2004, after graduating from Kyoto University of Education, he came to Jamaica on a Japanese state-run volunteer program. As well as promoting gymnastics, he worked with the Jamaican Ministry of Education to develop a new manual for PE teachers.
Come here, Bill. Come. Oh yeah. Yes, smart. Don't bite me, you know.
And at the end of the volunteer program, he decided to stay in Jamaica. One neighborhood in particular holds many strong memories for him.
この辺りの地域はジャマイカではゲットーと言われているところで、ゲットーっていうのはいわゆる貧困地区とかスラム街的なイメージの、ジャマイカでそういうイメージで使われているところですね。
Jamaica suffers from widespread financial inequality, and the poorest areas have more unemployment and more crime, a world that many young people get drawn into.
ゲットーの劣悪なその生活環境じゃないですけど、そういうところに子どもたちがいっぱいいる。で放課後することなくてこうどんどん悪い方向に行ってるっていうような話を聞いて、やっぱり体操で何かできるんじゃないかなっていう風な使命感が出たっていうのが、そうですね、教室始めることになったきっかけですかね。
In 2008, Nishida used his savings to rent part of a warehouse and offer gymnastics classes. And while funding the gym through monthly fees from students, he also visited underprivileged neighborhoods to provide free classes for children there.
サッカーとか陸上とかと体操ってやっぱちょっと違うんですよ。できなかったことができるっていうことがそのやってる本人にとってとっても分かりやすいスポーツだと思うんです。だいたい最初みんな逆上がりに挑戦した時ってできないじゃないですか。でもできないし、これ絶対こんなん無理と思うんですよ最初みんな。でもちゃんと段階踏んで練習するとできるんですよ。で一回できた時のできたっていう経験ってね、なかなかそれほど分かりやすいスポーツって体操以外にあんまりないと思うんですよね。
When he discovers underprivileged children with a natural aptitude for gymnastics, Nishida works to develop those talents. And one such star pupil was present-day coach Daniel Williams.
Come Bob.
Nishida invited Williams to join his classes after noticing his potential while teaching at his elementary school. And through his training with Nishida, Williams would go on to become one of Jamaica's top male gymnasts.
Good one. Nice.
He performed well at international tournaments. And at the age of 20, he became only the second Jamaican man ever to make it to the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships.
I'm still grateful that I did participate. You know, I got the experience and I'm thankful. Thanks be to God.
Williams' success on the world stage has also had a huge positive impact in his severely deprived neighborhood.
I don't know about nowhere else. My hunger can't tell you how grand spend when I'm born and grow. It was a messy place. Daniel, as a athletes, come here and change the place, because them change it for us, you know. Because we there full and a follow, you know. But when we see we little brother come up and we little cousin come turn star, we have to break up ourselves.
I got me say I go on. Yeah, and that's Mr. Youth, they might try this, you might go work. And as we tell you, say, we don't go on like so, we're perfect. You know, it could happenings go on now and then, but as I said before, where we have come from to where we reach now.
Williams still lives in this neighborhood with his parents, Busta and Laura.
Yes, Daniel. Everybody have a dream, but very few people live to fulfill their dreams. And I didn't know I had a son in me that would take it to the world, and he make us real proud. Yeah, man, as a parents.
It gives the future to the younger ones that are coming.
3 years ago, a back injury forced him to retire from competition. So now he aims to pass on what Nishida taught him to a new generation.
For, you know, the most organized instructor of the year. So, Mr. Nishida to me is basically like one of those role models, just like as I emulate my father as well. So I'm emulating Mr. Nishida just as well. Teach me everything that, you know, brought me up as a human being, you know, in the right way, I should say. You know, traveling with probably my younger students them and, you know, competing, you know, being there as their coach. So that's where I want to head next.
ダニエルがうちのジムでコーチをしてる、次の世代をコーチしてる。もうそれだけでこの15年やった価値あったなっていうふうに思いますよね。僕がその体操をジャマイカでやっていた時の志やったりとか、子供に伝えたいことであったりとかっていうのをすごくしっかり自分の言葉で喋ってくれてるのとかを聞くとね、いや本当やっててよかったなと思いますよね。オリンピック行けなかったですけど、もう彼らの成長を見てるともう本当それでいいなと思います。はい。
Nishida's organization currently runs 4 gyms across the island, with a total of around 800 students. After deciding to return to Japan, he set up a crowdfunder to help the classes continue, as well as to build a special gym on the grounds of an elementary school he's sometimes collaborated with. "23-year-old Shakoi Bennett is an up-and-coming talent at the newly built gym. Also from a disadvantaged background, he's been learning gymnastics since the age of 7. Williams has high hopes for him.
Otherwise, from that, the handstand was good. It's just that you need the timing needs to be. Like, it's a quick move. Bam, come back down.
Bennett hopes to emulate Williams by competing in international tournaments, in his case, on the horse and rings. But as things reopen, he's struggling to return to his pre-pandemic form.
During the pandemic, well, especially the first one when we had the lockdowns, I couldn't train at all. When I started back training, it was kind of like starting from zero again. Yeah, because my body just kind of forgot what it was doing.
But undeterred, he continues building toward his goal of a first international tournament.
Nice. Good job.
The pandemic has had a severe impact on these gymnastics studios. Lockdown measures forced them to close for many months. And even now, class sizes are restricted. With revenues down by 2/3, owning their own gym was the only thing that enabled them to carry on teaching. Away from the gym, Nishida heads into town to check in on local friends and acquaintances and find out how they've been affected by the pandemic. Basil Nooms makes covers for their gym mats.
It doesn't really affect you. Second, you do the same way. That's good. You know that it affects us a lot, right?
With activity stepping up again, Nishida places a new order. Jamaica has no specialist gym equipment manufacturers, so Nooms is a vital partner.
You remember, right? But again, this is when the school reopened.
But while students are slowly returning to regular classes, there are currently no plans to reopen free classes in poorer neighborhoods.
Coming from this side. Are you opening? Oh, this. Okay.
Nishida visits a community center that provides educational and other support for such areas.
Aunties, how are you? You okay? I mean, long time never see you. Yeah? I mean, you guys, I'm glad to hear that at least, nobody's troubled.
He first launched free classes here in 2016, and when infection rates fall further, he hopes to revive that partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does in a sense. As I said, instead you have the children let go on the street, up and down, they're focused on something that can be a benefit to them and their parents. Appreciate it. I say the parents come with them children, close not from our end, but the instructor's end. We will have to close until certain time. The children still come and them practice by themselves.
The children are itching to get back into action.
Let's go kick off. Yes. You can still do it. Yes.
Yes, she can.
Well, tell them gymnastics soon come back, okay? Hopefully. Hopefully.
Not hopefully, it will come back.
Yeah, it will come again. Right. We just don't know when, but it will come back.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Next, Nishida visits a school attended by some of his students.
Morning, Mr. Wright. I knew Mr. Wright. Is that Mr. Wright?
Oh, yes.
Principal Christopher Wright, himself a former PE teacher, is an old acquaintance from Nishida's volunteer days.
How are you doing? Mr. Wright, so how are you? You good?
Brother, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
2 years I couldn't come back to Jamaica. So how are the schools though?
Well,
Under COVID.
COVID is there. We're battling it. But today's the first day and children are out, which is a good thing.
Hold on, first day coming back to school?
Face to face.
Oh,
yes.
really?
Since March
2020?
Correct.
Okay. So we are trying to get the gymnastics stuff back at the community center.
So
whenever we're ready.
Ready,
Yes, we'll talk to you.
Definitely.
Same number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Wright.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yes, it's all right.
Okay. And a happy new year to you. Yes.
But the joy of seeing old friends is soon shattered by some upsetting news.
Yes. 本当に昨日の夜に、ここで体操を習ってた子供のお父さんが銃で撃たれたっていう話をしてたんです。いやもうそのね、子供さんなんだろうな、家にいてて撃たれたって言うんですよ。家にいてて撃たれたってもうトラウマもトラウマじゃないですか。でなんかそういうことがやっぱり頻繁に起きてしまうっていう地域で体操にはまるっていうことは、例えば家に帰ってなんかそういうちょっと嫌なこととか怖いことを忘れて技の練習を頑張るとか、なんだろうな、やっぱりすごく健康的な影響を与えられると思うので、早く再開したいなと思いますね。
While some former students remain committed to gymnastics, others have gone into different fields.
Go ahead. All right, we're gonna do that motion one more time. Let me just adjust my focus settings here.
Jamin Levy is a freelance photographer.
Awesome.
He decided to set up on his own after working as a video editor with a local production company.
The job really attracts me and inspires me quite a lot. I enjoy picking up the camera and going out and shooting.
Having taken up gymnastics at the age of 6, up to the age of 20, he studied with Nishida for around 10 years. And under Nishida's tutelage, he achieved podium finishes in international youth tournaments. The lessons he learned from those experiences have been a huge help in his subsequent activities.
You know, we always keep trying. It's actually one of the headlines and, mottos for Nishida's Gymnastics. And I think that has really stuck with me, that like I need to just keep going, even when things get tough. Just get back up and, try something else, keep going.
And while his career as a photographer is still in its infancy, he hopes to build a reputation with creative portrayals of Jamaica's natural beauty. On a day off from teaching, Nishida and his coaches head out on a boat trip. Their destination is this uninhabited island. Once there, Nishida goes off in search of food. And an hour later,
there you go. Plenty fish.
The island holds a lot of memories for Nishida, who'd often come here to ponder major life choices.
What's really going on in Jamaica?
And today, he has an important message for his coaches.
Always message me and say this and this and this. And seeing, we gone back to zero, and I'm seeing gym coming back a little by little. I was like, oh, yes. You guys are so reliable. I was like, you guys saved me, saved my 15 years. No more excitement, no more Jamaican kids who can chase their dreams through gymnastics, no more those good place to be. So that's what I really felt at one point. And then, started to see gym coming back. I was really glad and happy. And I felt I was so, I don't know, I was saved in a way by you guys. Yes, did my best.
He wanted to thank the team for keeping classes running through his pandemic-enforced absence.
And I'm looking very much forward to.
I mean, when we see that the gym is starting from zero, it felt like it was our responsibility. And you know, we couldn't just make that legacy just go down the drain like that. So it's just the love and the drive to do it, and the love for the gymnastic itself. So.
Many people only talk about the negative with COVID, but they don't realize that there are many positives through COVID. And I mean, COVID, even though it made our staff a bit less, what I think it did also was made us a bit closer, stronger. But you see, when we're smaller, there's more time. People spend the time knowing each other, you know, learning more about your ways, you know, what you don't like, what you dislike, so I know how to deal with you. And I mean, through all of that, I think we got really, really, really close. Really close.
The gymnastics initiative Nishida started himself 15 years ago is now supported by a whole team of Jamaican coaches.
Being there, and I must say I'm very appreciative of that. I mean, you took over, you took charge, you know, you would ask me for one.
俺じゃなくてこうチームとしてこうねまとまってるというかこうなんか力強さを感じて西田ズジムナスティックスインジャメイカ本当強くなったなみたいなもう僕いなくても大丈夫っすわ
These local colleagues are the most dependable deputies Nishida could ask for. And they are also providing new leadership to carry things forward even further.
まあ所詮一つの体操教室でできることってすごい限られてると思っていて、ただ個人で見た時に大きく言えばこう夢であるとか目標みたいなものを、頑張って終えるようなそういう機会を子どもたちにこう提供してあげれるようなそういう場になってほしいですね。I can't be here physically to do anything to get more kids, but I mean you are the one, you know, who related to our people, related to our kids and parents, for our mother gym to do better to us too. Yes. 頼むよ。I'm confident now you guys will do. All right. So we're ready for the class. Hi.
And Nishida and his team continue their efforts to build a new shared future for their community.